Hello, I said I would do a video, and I had filmed before, but my other one was such a hot mess. It would have been do as I say, not as I'm showing you. So I decided I would just start over and we will start at the beginning here. This is, if you watched my gather video with the little accordion journal, this is the book cover basically that I used for that flip through. So here was the little cover, and this is what I cut it from. But I think that there's still, you know, if you look here, like I still really love all of this. So I think I'm just gonna start over, like I said, from the beginning, and we'll just do the filming this way. So I did really like that size though that I made. And so I think I'm gonna stick with kind of those same dimensions that I had used, which hopefully will be, yeah, which should be about perfect, because I'm going to try to capture that stamp that was underneath. So I'm just going to mark it here at about 2.5 inches. And maybe put a little line. I'm not always the best when it comes to the exacto knife. So hopefully this will be straight. This is just one of those like cheap cutters that I got like at, you know, at the dollar store. So nothing fancy, although I'm gonna put my my healing cutting board underneath here just in case. So and I just make that first cut and then just kind of keep going, making sure that your hand, you know, clearly out of the way. And you should be able to kind of tell when you're getting a little bit further through the book cover. And that at some point it should just kind of bend and break here. And that hopefully we can just kind of poke through. I'm sure there's a better way. I feel bad that you're even watching me do this. Perfect. Okay. Now, I think I'm just going to cut across the top here. I do like masking tape, and so I'm just going to cover the edges, although you could use just about anything really. It wouldn't have to be masking tape. You could use a little piece of fabric even, I mean, to be honest. So if you had a little piece of fabric, maybe use that. Maybe we'll do that here, huh? Maybe we'll try that. I'll go grab some. Now I still want to be able to see that stamp, and that's a pretty fair amount on the back side. because I like using this kind of as the cover. So this will be what you will see, not necessarily the back. So I may wait and maybe we can attach our paper here and then we can just glue this over the edge. So I think I am still going to use masking tape on this side here then. We'll just kind of make as we go here. Oh yeah, see? Okay, so then I'm going to grab paper here. This is kind of a nice weight paper. This is just like a watercolor pad, 90 pounds, and I'm just gonna rip a sheet out here, and this is what I'm gonna use for our paper. Now, if you have, you know, like a regular sheet, a full sheet of watercolor paper, you certainly could use that as well. I mean, I have used that either way. Whatever you've got will be just fine. I just have this handy. And then what I like to do is kind of measure just to see how big our paper should be. Typically speaking, I normally the paper on the inside, I like it to be a little bit smaller so that, you know, your cover is larger than, and then you can have stuff kind of, you know, sticking out the top here. So I will probably, like, I'm thinking like probably about here. Well, that might be a little bit small, maybe like here. So let's see what that is here. I'll mark it so you can actually see it with the pencil here. My little mark. So this is, what have I got? Oh yeah, we'll just do right at 3 inches. So I'm just going to cut my paper into 3 inch, and then I'm going to sew the edges. So I'll show you here in just a moment. Well, that actually worked out perfect because all of my strips, 3 inches apparently was the magic number because they're all the same. Now, depending on how big or long you want your journal to be, you could simply, you can glue, you can sew, you can, you know, staple, however you want your strips to basically go together, you can certainly do that. So I think I'm probably just going to sew these 2 pieces of paper together, and I don't know that I'm going to use this entire length, like that would be super long. I'm thinking I'll probably just do the 2, but maybe just for fun, I'll glue this on or staple this on here. Yeah, so I'm gonna sew this and then maybe we'll staple the other section here. So give me just a moment. There's probably about a 1/2 inch overlap of the paper, maybe a little bit more. At least a 1/2 inch, probably 3/4 of an inch overlap. And again, I don't know that there's any magic number. I'm just trying to show you how I'm going to do mine. And then, like I said, I may staple this down at this end just to do something different here. Yeah. Now, the other part that was a do as I say, not as I do is the last time I actually glued the paper to the cover, and then did my folding and added my pockets onto the journal, which was a bit cumbersome. So if you're doing the planning, so like when I did this one, I glued this first, and then I went back and sewed all of the pockets on, but it really would have been easier on my part if you would kind of pre-fold and pre-plan, sew your pockets onto your paper, and then glue it to your book. So even this much, because now your paper's big, but I'm not the best at pre-planning. I'm more of a, let's just wing this and see how it goes. So I'm just gonna kind of pretend, I'm gonna line this up approximately where I'm gonna glue it. And then I'm just gonna start folding. So I know that I like having a little edge sticking out here. So, and there's no magic again. I'm just folding. And I like it to not be all the same. So, you know, if you like things to be neat and tidy, then maybe figure out, you know, the width of your fold and then just call it good. But like I said, I'm a go with the flow. So maybe we've got a small one here. And then another big one. And if they're not totally even, I'm not worried about that either. If you're worried about measurements and fussiness, then I maybe might not be the best one to watch here. I'll try to keep it slightly more even for you. But I'm just gonna fold as we go here. And then technically speaking, you know, you could go, if you did want to put any pockets on, I think it would be easier to do the sewing now without putting the cover on. So pockets will be kind of fun. So let's add, I'm gonna go look for a little bit of fabric and maybe some paper here, and we will add a few pockets to this. That looks pretty good, I think. So can you see my folds there? Not all the same, a few small, a few big, but it should be pretty good. So I'll go grab some fabric. Okay, I've got just a little bit here. So we're not gonna probably put anything on this very first one, because that would be, you know, here. You could put something here if you wanted to. I gotta go get my other scissors again. And now that I kind of have this pre-planned here a little bit, I'm gonna take this over to the sewing machine and get all of the pockets sewn on, and then I will be back. Okay, got some really long threads, but yeah, so now we'll do just a quick little, I switched out that green polka dot, the white with the green polka dot, for this little gray and white polka dot. I like that one better once I got over to the sewing machine. And I was able to, the threads are really long, I'm gonna have to trim this a little bit, but so this is kind of a double pocket. So I did the fabric on the one side and the paper on the back. So if you just line them up and kind of hold it, you know, just take a moment, take your time. But otherwise, I got, like I said, whew, I got some long threads here. So then on the back side, got, and I just turned the fabric over a little bit on this side. So I've only got just the two on the one on the back side, and then, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the front. So anyway, once you get your pockets figured out, I'm gonna clip this here. I think it'll be easier to work with. Then we're just gonna glue this onto our cover. And again, I think I will use this fabric, and we're just gonna kind of fold that over. I'm gonna trim this edge though. You see how this one's like pulled? I'm just gonna snip it and rip along here quick. And I'm just gonna use, I just use Aleene's Tacky glue. And this is the side that will be going down. Just gonna cover. So we're just gonna let this dry, and that is basically how I made my little accordion journal for the gathering, the 6-day challenge. Maybe I can do a little flip through once it's done, but this is basically, this is how I did it. So nothing fancy, nothing magical, but this is it. So let me know if you have any questions, and otherwise, I thank you for watching.